The Flyers play tonight in a preseason game against the New York Islanders, and Alexei Kolosov will be making his Flyers debut, but he won't exactly have a great lineup behind him, at least in comparison to the lineup that the Islanders are projected to put out there. I'm Charlie O'Connor with PHLY Sports, and these are your Flyers post-practice notes. So to start, it was confirmed today by Darryl Williams, assistant Flyers coach, who will be behind the bench, running the bench for the Flyers tonight on Long Island, that Alexei Kolosov will indeed play tonight. It doesn't seem like he's going to get the start. Ivan Fedotov is also going to be in this game, and it seems like he will get the beginning of the game. But Williams said Kolosov will play at least a bit, whether that's the entire second half of the game, whether that's the entire third period. He didn't reveal, but Kolosov is going to play, and for the first time, you're going to see Alexei Kolosov wearing a Philadelphia Flyers jersey. Now, Kolosov, of course, was the subject of much rumors, speculation, whatever you want to call it, over the last few weeks. He did not show up to rookie camp, did not show up for the start of main camp, but last week he did make the decision to come. He was on the ice on Friday, and now today it appears, barring some sort of last-minute change, he is indeed going to put on a Flyers uniform and play in preseason game action for the club. Now, what should you expect from Kolosov? Well, we'll see. It's obviously going to be his first NHL action. He might have a bit of an adjustment period in terms of the different style of play and whatnot. He's playing, as I'll say in a few minutes, against a pretty darn good Islanders team. But keep an eye out for Kolosov's athleticism. That is really the hallmark of his game. He is an extremely athletic goalie. Expect some highlight reel plays, quick side-to-side movements. That's why the Flyers are so excited about him, because even though he's not the biggest, he does have great athleticism. He has the ability to make the big save. So that could be what makes him stand out the most in this game. But we'll see what he has. That said, Kolosov might be in for a tough game because the Flyers lineup versus the Islanders lineup tonight, the Islanders are dressing a much better group of skaters. We're talking about all the big names for the Islanders: Matt Barzal, Anders Lee, Pollock, and Pelech. We've got Dobson. We have all their big names. Bo Horvat. This is basically looking like something of a dress rehearsal for the Islanders. They're pretty much dressing their entire NHL roster. The Flyers, on the other hand, this is very clearly their B team. Now, you've got Zamula and Ristolainen, the team's projected third pair, as their first pair in this game. In terms of NHL forwards, you've got Joel Farabee, yeah. You've got Ryan Poehling, you've got Scott Laughton, but you don't have the heavy hitters. There's no Matvei Mishkov. There's no Jet Lushenko, if we're even talking about the young players. No Sean Couturier, no Travis Konechny, no Owen Tippett. This isn't exactly the best Flyers lineup that you're going to see. So just going into the game, the expectation should be that the Islanders are going to win this one. And that's fine. It's preseason. These games don't matter. But if Alexei Kolosov struggles in his first game, maybe don't panic. Or even if Ivan Fedotov struggles in this game, don't panic. Because in the grand scheme of things, the Flyers are dressing a much, much weaker lineup. One player who this game does matter a lot to, Olle Lycksell. This is Lycksell's fourth preseason game. He's getting a long look this preseason, and I thought he was one of the standouts on Saturday night. Had 2 assists, one really nice assist on Mishkov's power play goal, had another good assist on Rasmus Ristolainen's goal. This is his fourth game. In 3 games, he has a goal and 2 assists, and in my opinion, he's the clubhouse leader to be that 23rd player, that 14th forward on the NHL roster for Game 1, if the Flyers do indeed choose to keep 23 players on their Game 1 roster. Tonight, he's on a line with Scott Laughton, who will be centering the line, and then Anthony Richard. Now, functionally, it looks like this might be used as the first line tonight. They ran it first when they ran line combinations here in Voorhees today at practice. So Lycksell is getting another big opportunity. And Darryl Williams, when we spoke to him today after the skate, after practice, he said basically he's definitely taking advantage of an opportunity. Lycksell is impressing. And this is an opportunity for him tonight, even though it's going to be against tough competition, where if he has a big game, he could potentially lock down that spot in the opening night roster. And then finally, a nice little piece of news today at the skate. Guy Gaudreau was back here with the Flyers on the ice with the coaching staff. Now, Guy obviously last week did make an appearance at Flyers practice. It was a really heartwarming thing. Guy Gaudreau, if you don't know, is the father of Johnny Gaudreau and Matt Gaudreau, who tragically passed away earlier this month. Gaudreau was invited to Flyers training camp by John Tortorella, by the organization as a whole, and today he was back. John Tortorella made it clear when we spoke with him last week that he was hoping that Guy would come back, and he did. So Guy is still involved with Flyers camp, and that was legitimately great to see. But again, today, the big news is today's game against the New York Islanders, which will be happening tonight on the island. I've been Charlie O'Connor with PHLY Sports. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
We all silly like the mayor.